The question is we're obviously all rooting for Australia at the Rugby World Cup next year. If Australia don't win, who would you most like to win the competition? And least like, I should say. Let's do both.
As in, who do we want to host the World Cup?
No. For the
who's going to win
World Cup in France next year, if Australia doesn't win it.
This is how you can tell I've tuned out at this time. No, sorry. if we don't want to win. Oh, okay. Well, I can answer this very quickly. If Australia's not going to win it, I want France to win it, for sure.
Yeah. And Mitch?
We can't double up, can we?
Sorry, I jumped in.
I was gonna say France as well. I mean, they're forming nicely as one of the chances to really take it out. If we're in the realm of reality and we have to pick a team that's going to win, I would say I'll go with England. I'd love to see England, like Eddie Jones, finish off his reign at England. If he gets there, there's no guarantee that he'll get to the World Cup next year with how he's been going so far. But I'd love to see England take it out. I was really, really expecting them to take it out last time against South Africa and kind of fell over at the last hurdle. So, but if we're going outside of the realm of reality, I'd love to see maybe Ireland or Scotland, one of those nations, take it out as well.
Very good. I love that Ireland are not in the realm of reality when they were the number one team at the World Cup going in last year. I was thinking you're going to say Fiji when you went out of the realm of reality. I thought that would be the best thing ever. The Endure just carry them through. I was thinking if I can't go France, which I think is everyone's second team at the moment, it was kind of the thing that got me thinking about was the allegiance of like Southern Hemisphere versus Northern Hemisphere. And I'm a big fan of just Southern Hemisphere beating any Northern Hemisphere team every single time. So although I don't want them to have more to lord over us, if I can't have France win, then I think it should be New Zealand. Our neighbours, I do love seeing a legacy, and I do love seeing the Southern Hemisphere teams just dominate. So I'm going for them.
Yeah, look, I mean, some of our hardened listeners will realise I haven't jumped out yet. I've just been composing myself, trying to bring myself back to normal after Mitch said he'd like England to win it. Just got my heart rate shoot through the roof. Mitch, I had you up here and you've dropped a little bit in my estimation now. I was going to say, essentially, if it wasn't France, it's anyone but England is my next definite answer. I pretty much became South African in that last Rugby World Cup final. I was just ready to, move there and I was probably happier than the South Africans when they got that win over England.
Mate, I was wearing a South African kimono at the game, and all the Southers kept coming up to me going, "We did it!" And I'm like, "Yeah, we did."
That's it, right? No, God, I hate England, but no, I think France is very much within the realm of possibility. I don't know. We weren't saying that they.
No, he said Ireland. He said Ireland.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Who do you think, Craigs? Who do you think would you least like to win? I think you might have just put the writing on the wall there, but maybe
that's. I mean, that's you'd never have to ask me that question. That's always England, and that's in any sport that they participate in. I've learnt new sports in that England competes in and have to go for the other country. You know what I mean? Like that's how far my passion goes in that respect. But I would least like England to win it. And yeah, I mean, I think we've said Australia or France for winning it. What about you guys? Least like to win it? Mitch, I feel like Mitch is going to say New Zealand least like to win it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it in the bag. I think I'm being a bit controversial on the podcast and going with against what everyone else thinks. In my view, if New Zealand wins another World Cup, their heads are going to just absolutely explode, and they will have the ego that is so big that no one else in the world will ever be able to play a Test match against them again, because they'd be 2 or 3 World Cups clear of the next country who's won a few World Cups, and at that point they'll start saying that what's the point of playing the World Cup? There's no point. No one can catch us. We're that good. They're already saying about Super Rugby at the moment. So I don't think the New Zealand fans need any more fuel. So I would not like to see New Zealand win it.
Very good. I'm going to say, along a similar line of thought, I was always going to say South Africa. because, man, if they win a game, it's like they're immediately the untouchable side in the world. So when they won that last World Cup, I enjoyed it with the fans, but we haven't heard the end of it for 3 years. And generally, somehow it all turns into, and Australia are terrible. South Africa are amazing, and Australia are terrible, and we're ruining New Zealand rugby. So I can't cop another 4 years of that. So I love South Africa, but I really hope they don't win another World Cup.
It's true. I think Nelson actually lost the majority of his hair just from those South African WhatsApp rugby groups that you guys are in, with the elite rugby banter and whatnot, just from the last couple of years alone. But no, I agree with Harry. I've kind of also got that Southern Hemisphere versus Northern Hemisphere alliance. Like, I loved the fact that the World Cup in England, there's 2 semi-finals were all Southern Hemisphere teams. It was like, thanks for having us up there. But I don't know. With New Zealand, it's interesting. I feel like most Aussies are kind of would align with you, Mitch, in that it's anyone but New Zealand. And I think just for me, it's because probably all of my favourite players in fantasy are all Kiwis, and that's why I watch Super Rugby to watch the things that the Kiwis do. But no, I mean, when you go to a Bledisloe, there's no one on the planet that I hate more than the Kiwis at that time. But yeah, I'm with Harry. I'm happy. I don't mind if they win again, as long as it's a Southern Hemisphere team. I'd probably rather they win than the Sappers. So that's there you go. But,
are they classified as a Southern Hemisphere team anymore?
Technically, mate, they're still in until like 2025. I think is when they're going to ditch us. So for now, and then we can just go against them every single year together. So that'll be good.
I am looking forward to seeing how some of the Pacific Island nations go at this next World Cup with the change in eligibility laws. So Tonga particularly has the potential to name quite a juicy side if some of the talent does agree to sign on and play for them, which would be exciting. And I mean, you never know. Imagine 2027 if Fiji or Tonga gets through to like the semi-final, that would be just massive.
Yeah, that would be.
Well,
awesome.
If Fiji go through, let's hope it's with Australia and Wales don't get through the pools then.
2027. That's
but we're all in the same pool every year.
Yeah, every time it's always the same. It's always Fiji, Australia.
But as if we get the World Cup, don't we automatically qualify in Pool A?
I don't know.
The host nation's always in Pool A then.
I thought they just went off the rankings 3 years out. I didn't think.
I'm not sure.
That was a thing.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, guys, I think we should wrap this thing up.
I agree. Now, look, this was an awesome pod with, I think it was episode 19, rounds. We're looking at round 13 of Super Rugby Pacific, only a few rounds to go, and have been blessed this evening to be joined by Mitch from the Pick and Drive Rugby podcast. And hopefully we'll see you on the weekend at the game, at the Tars game, for we'll all be celebrating the Tars win, because we've all tipped that way. Until next week, thank you for tuning into the Draft Rugby podcast. Of course, you can catch it on YouTube as well. And we'll catch you next week.
Hooroo.